December 26, 2019 is an eclipse. It is called a solar south node eclipse. You're going to want to know where this happens in your life. The date is December 26th, 2019. And this video is for Cancer Ascendant, Cancer Risings. Cancer Ascendant, Cancer Risings. 4 degrees Capricorn is where this solar eclipse occurs in your chart. So that means you got to understand where the heck Capricorn at 4 degrees is in your chart to understand how this will affect you in your life. Where in your life will this affect you? Well, if you're a Cancer rising, and Cancer is the polar opposite energy of Capricorn, right? And that means Capricorn's in your 7th house, which is committed one-on-one relationships. This includes business partnerships. This also has to do with the public, okay? Public is your partner, in a sense. So marriages, partnerships, those are all in this bucket. Now, do you have a planet at 4 degrees Capricorn? Is your descendant at 4 degrees Capricorn? These would be important things to know, to understand the magnitude, to understand the intensity, to understand the energy of how this eclipse will affect you. You need to know this because not long after this, actually like 2 weeks after this, we have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in your 7th house because they're both happening in Capricorn. They happen at 23 degrees Capricorn. And I think it's important. Today is November 12th. It is the full moon of Taurus, and I have been instructed, I have been strongly guided to give people a big heads up that because we're in this beautiful November month where we have a lot of supportive energy, we have a lot of divine downloads, we have gifts that are given to us this month, there may be a false sense of security, a false sense of financial security. That is not to say that the gifts that we're getting aren't going to be beautiful, but it is throwing like an air of caution into the wind to say, hey, if you got a bonus at your job, at your work, because for you Cancer risings, the big bonus, the big galactic center was in your 6th house of my work, my job. Okay, it has to do with your animals, also has to do with your health. Now that doesn't mean that I'm saying, hey, you got some good shit. Guess what? It wasn't that good. There's going to be some negative stuff around the corner. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means to be smart. Do not be in a place. Here's the astrology to explain why I'm giving like a caution. I'm giving a caution because Jupiter is involved. Jupiter is involved, okay? Jupiter and Venus are going to be conjunct the galactic center on the 23rd. By the 24th, Venus and Jupiter are literally hand in hand, right on top of each other. Yeah, in Sag. This is all in Sag. The galactic center is at 27 degrees Sag. They're going to be the next day at 28 degrees Sag together, holding hands. Now, Jupiter is beautiful. Jupiter is wisdom. Jupiter is my beliefs. Okay, Venus is what I value, all right? Now, if we just got gifts, right? If we just came into some money or if we received a gift of some sort, if we got a promotion, this whole month of November is all about getting information, okay? Getting tangible, physical, material gifts. This is a big month of receiving, receive. How do I receive? What do I value? This is a big month of that. Now, it's also a time of how I value me. And my new awareness of a degree of me that I just never saw before, that I just wasn't aware of, or that I, for whatever reason, wasn't really owning. This is a time to own it, but at the same time, there's this ego thing occurring because it's happening in fire, and fire represents our ego. So because it's happening in Sag, and Jupiter's involved, Jupiter has a tendency, Jupiter represents propaganda, Jupiter represents exaggeration. Jupiter adds to things. You see? So if you're having, success with something and Jupiter is there and it's just like Jupiter can add to the ego, okay? It can make something greater than it really is, okay? So what you want to do, because Venus is involved, Venus likes to spend. Venus is all about, I got money, I like this, I like that, ooh, I want that. And I've got the money, I just got it. I can spend it now on this. And all I'm saying is, and I've already instructed this to you guys in your specific readings for November, and this is why I instructed you guys to do this, to wait until Venus is in tangible, practical, non-risking Capricorn. It's not going to be long. Venus gets there a few days later. Just a few days later, I'm asking you to wait. It's when you make your new moon intentions. They're going to be more realistic, more tangible, more practical, and they're going to be able to say, hey, you know I got this money, but I also know I have these bills, and boy, if I'm thinking about the long term, it would be way better to take care of this first, instead of just frivolously spending it on something that I want as opposed to something I need, okay? And so for Cancer risings, Cancer ascendants, this happens at 4 degrees. The eclipse happens at 4 degrees in Cancer. And I know I just flipped real quick. I went from talking about the beauty and the abundance that's coming, but I'm trying to go back to the beginning of the video. And this video is about the eclipse that's happening. Now, the eclipse, like I said, is in the 7th house, okay? So it gives us it's like a precursor. It lets us understand better what that big conjunction in 2020 is going to look like. For some of us, because I've done a lot of charts, and for some people, they don't have anything there. And it's not squaring anything. It's not going to be affecting anything. But for others, it's a direct effect. It's an immediate direct effect. You're going to want to know if there's an immediate direct effect for you in your life, okay? You can comment your birth info below. Make sure you tap the bell. That's the only way I communicate with you is through YouTube. That is the media in which we communicate. We're not doing emails. The only time we do emails is if we have to talk, is if we have to communicate back and forth to rectify our birth time. Now, what I also want to explain here is that Cancer is a very sensitive sign. It's an empath, okay? It can pick up what other people what they're feeling. It feels what they feel. Cancer is a very sensitive sign. It is like, it needs to be nurtured. It needs to have a stable emotional world, inner world. But the way that it establishes that, it has so much to do with its outer world. So they can be very protective of their body and very protective, especially of their home and their family and of their mother and the ideas of her, all those ideas surrounded by mom. So when we talk about Cancer and this eclipse occurring in the 7th house of significant one-on-one relationships, you can see how this could be a very big deal. And I mean, you may want to have a heads up. You may want to know, okay, should I be concerned? Should I be aware that something, that change is coming? Because people, eclipse means change. No way around it. The difference is if you have a planet or a point there, it's how big of a change is it going to be, okay? So this isn't about spreading fear, because I'm not about that. But I'm more about helping people to be prepared. And not only that, but I really want you to be able to kind of do this yourself. That's really my goal, for you to grasp this gift of knowledge and to say, oh my gosh, like this is showing me, this is a map to my life. I can understand my energetic cycles of my life, and I can track these by dates. And this isn't, it's not some crazy voodoo or like, some... people love to call it a pseudoscience, but it's not. If it was, I wouldn't be doing this, trust me. I approached astrology as an experiment, and I used my life as that experiment. And I said, you need to prove to me, right? I need to be able to see the proof, man, in my life and the events and the timing to see if this shit is legit. And if I didn't think it was legit, I wouldn't waste my breath on it. And anyone who knows me could tell you that. So this video was for Cancer ascendant, Cancer rising. It's to give you a heads up for what's coming down the pipe. If you want to know more about this for you, how this will affect you in your life, if it's a big deal, if you should be concerned, or if you just get by the skin of your teeth, comment below and I'll take care of you. But understand, come 2020 in January, that big eclipse is coming. I'm sorry, the big conjunction is coming. And so it's an evolution. It's a process that begins and we don't see the effects right away, but over time, we're going to see how that looks. Okay? So I just thought I'd give you a heads up. Stay clean, stay cool, and remember, it's all astrology.